and welcome to another video. In today's lesson we will learn how to make some mittens. The mittens are available in 7 different sizes, and as you can see from this photo there is only about 1/4 inch between each size. There will be 4 different tutorials with all the different sizes, and the links for these will be in the description box so that you can go to the size that you need to make. Here is the chart that will tell you how much yarn you will need for each size. This is just a guide only, so I suggest getting just a little bit more than what is stated. If you are using 8-ply, sports weight or double knit yarn, I suggest using the largest size video because the yarn that you have chosen will be thinner than the yarn that is used in the video. I will put the link below in the description box to the free written pattern that is located on my website. Also, this chart will show you all the different sizes. Measurement A is the width of the glove and measurement B is the length. But you can easily adjust the length by adjusting the amount of rounds that you use in the finger section, also the hand section, and of course the ribbing can be adjusted as well, and also the thumb. If you use different amounts on the thumb, you can make it longer, and if you need to, you can make it shorter. So in today's lesson we will be using Red Heart Super Saver yarn. It is a medium worsted weight yarn, and we will be using the colour turquoise. I hope you enjoyed this video, so let's get started on the lesson. For our supplies, we will need a yarn needle with a large eye, a stitch marker. This can be any one that you like. You could even use a scrap piece of yarn. They work really great for stitch markers. Also bobby pins work really well. They're really good. You're going to need a pair of scissors. These scissors are now available on my website, so I will put the link below so you can check them out. We're going to need a crochet hook to go with our yarn. I'm using a 5.5mm. That is also equivalent to an eye size hook. And we're going to be using medium worsted weight yarn, and of course these mittens are for me and I'm using my favourite colour, turquoise. So to start off, all we need to do is make a magic ring, wrapping the yarn around our fingers. There's plenty of different ways to make a magic ring. Of course, do yours how you feel comfortable. And we're going to pull our yarn through, chain 1. This doesn't count as a stitch, that's just going to secure that magic ring down. You can use this video to make 2 different size mittens. The mitten on the left is the small adult, and the mitten on the right in the turquoise is the medium adult. In the video I will tell you to start with 9 half double crochets. If you would like to make the medium one, that is what you will do. If you would like to make the small adult, I need you to start with 8 half double crochets. So that's for small adult it's 8 half double crochets, and for the medium adult it's 9 half double crochets. And we want to work 9 half double crochets, so it's yarning over, going into the ring. I've just got my finger in there to hold it, but going into the ring, we want to work 9 half double crochets. So pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, go into the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Now I'm going to assume that you know how to do a half double crochet. If not, there are plenty of different tutorials here on YouTube for the half double crochet stitch. So we've got 2, we need 9 altogether. So keep going until you have 9. So we should have 9 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can pull that tight now, and we will sew that in at the end, so don't worry if it comes a little bit loose again, that's fine. We want to work a half double crochet into the first stitch. Then we're going to grab our stitch marker, put it into the stitch that we just made. And work another half double crochet into the same stitch that we just did. Into each stitch around we want to work 2 half double crochets. And 2 half double crochets is also called an increase. So continue around until we get back to our stitch marker. Once we get around, we're going to remove our stitch marker and work a half double crochet into the next stitch. So we should have had 18 stitches on that last round because we worked 2 into each. And on this round we are working, so we've got 1 half double crochet, then in the next stitch we're going to work 2 half double crochets. Into the next one we're going to work 1 half double crochet. Into the next one we're going to work 2. And we're going to alternate between 1 and 2. And we're going to work that all the way around until we get back to the stitch marker. So in the next one it'll be 1 half double crochet. In the next one it'll be 2. And alternate that around until we get back to the stitch marker. There we go. So mine keeps getting loose there, but that's completely fine. As long as it doesn't come undone, we can fix that at the end. So you would have ended on an increase. Into the next stitch, we're going to work 1 half double crochet. Put our stitch marker back. Now, sometimes the stitch marker can be annoying, keep taking out, putting in, but trust me, it reminds you when to stop. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can keep going and then you'll just lose completely where you're up to. Been there, done that. So what we need to do now is work a half double crochet into every stitch. So no more increasing for this pattern, for this size. So just each stitch will have 1 half double crochet. And what we want to do is work 11 rounds of just the 1 half double crochet in each. Don't forget to move your stitch marker up each time. So we want 11 rounds. Now of course this is just to fit my hand, and everyone else may have a completely different size in the length of their hand. So if you need more rounds to make it longer for your fingers, or you need less, then you can adjust that to fit. So I'll meet up with you when we have our rounds finished. Once we have the amount of rounds that we need, it's going to fit your hand like this. So my fingers come to the end here, and the last rows come up to where my thumb starts there. So once we get to that length, we can start on the thumb. And the amount of stitches I use on the thumb is for my hand, and as you can see, my hand's quite narrow, and my fingers are quite thin as well. So if you need to adjust this to fit you better, you're more than welcome. So we can remove our stitch marker now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 9. But again, like I said, if you do it and you need to change, then that's fine too. And I'm going to skip 2 stitches. So 1, 2. And I'm going to half double crochet in the next, and I'm actually holding the chain up here with my finger because it tries to move around and make it really difficult. So we're going to half double crochet around, but I'm just going to do a couple of stitches and show you what it looks like on my hand. So we put our thumb into the hole there and then put it on our hand, and if that feels comfortable, you want to be able to like stretch your thumb right out like so, and that has to be comfortable. You don't want that to be really tight, otherwise when you're wearing your mitten it's going to be too tight on your hands. So there we go, we just make sure that fits. Now if you've got broader fingers here, you can make more chains. So what we're going to do is half double crochet around. And I'm going to half double crochet around until I get back to the chain stitches over here, and then I'll show you what to do in the thumb. Once we get it back around to where the chains are, I'm going to zoom this in a bit so we can see good. You can crochet around the chains, but I find it looks nicer if we crochet into the chains. So we're going to go into the chain. You can go into the back bumps if you like. That's completely up to you. We want to try and get 2 loops, not 1. Makes it so it doesn't pull up a big loop like it just did before. So going in, trying to get the 2 loops on the top. And I had 9 chains, so I need to get 9 stitches in there. Just have to stop there because I got myself tangled up. So crochet across the chain and then come along and crochet into the stitches as well. So we're going to continue around with this one. And we want to work 6 rounds. Now, like I said, if your hand is very different to mine, it could be longer, it could be shorter. Put this back on and I'll show you where it's going to have to come to. Oh, other direction would help. So basically you're going to keep crocheting round until you come down to your wrist, and then we're going to put the the ribbing on. So basically keep crocheting until it's covered and it's gone down to your wrist. And if you wanted to put your stitch marker back in, we took our stitch marker out when we did our chain, so you can just put it back there and that'll remind you how many rounds you've done, but of course you can just count from here and that will remind you as well how many rounds that we've done. So I'm going to do 6. Like I said, you can change it up if you like. Once we get back to where our thumb started, we'll work a single crochet and a slip stitch. And we're going to start our ribbing. So for our ribbing, we half double crochet around this stitch. So we're going to go next to the stitch, behind, out the other side, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through all 3. Next one is going to be a back post. So going to the next stitch, working from the back of our work with our crochet hook, and then putting the crochet hook into this stitch, or that gap, it's the space between the stitches. Into the next one is going to be a front post. Into the next one it's going to be a back post. And we're going to alternate between front and back until we get back to the beginning, and then we're actually going to join our rows, our rounds. So keep going until we get back to here. So our last back post was around the little tiny single crochet there that we had on the previous round. So we're going to join to the top of that first half double crochet. We're going to work another half, what is it? A front post half double crochet. Blah. Told you it was a mouthful. We're going to be working behind the stitch, and then the next one is our back post, so go in from the back, and we're just going to alternate around again, working front into the front. And the front post, now you can't really see it on this video, but they'll start to, every second one will start to stick out. See how that sticks out a little bit? And that will remind you what you're up to. What was that? Front post goes there. We'll just leave that in for entertainment value and to show you how professional I can be sometimes. So around the back and then around the front. So continue on making sure you're doing the right stitch until we get back to the beginning there, and see how the front posts are starting to stick right out. That's what it's going to look like. So once we get back to the beginning, we're going to slip stitch into the top, and altogether we need to work 6 rounds. So we just did 2 of the ribbing, so we need to work another 4 rounds. Of course you can adjust it, make less or more if you like. So continue on working front post, back post for as many rounds as you like, or until you have 6 altogether. Once we have the last stitch done, I've joined that, and then we're just going to pull out. Grab your sewing needle. I'm going to turn it to the inside, and then we're going to stitch down one of the ribs, and this will work in our end. Don't pull too tight because you don't want it to bunch up. And thread it back through. And cut off your yarn. So we have the wrist and we have all the hand bits. Now we're just going to work the thumb. The thumb is really easy. Grabbing your yarn, we want to join, and you can join your yarn into any of the stitches around. So we're going to work in between the stitches, not into the chain, but in between the stitches. You can join in the chain if you want to. Going to go between the stitches, join our yarn in. And we're going to half double crochet in between the stitches. This gives a neater join, and it makes the thumb look like it's not really an afterthought. It looks like it's all in one piece, which is good. So again, in between the stitches, okay, but well, here on the straight there we can't go in between because there aren't any in between spots, so we're just going to go in there, and then coming around we can work in between. Again, come on, there we go. We're just going to work all the way around until we get back to where we started. And continue on until we have 5 rounds of half double crochet. Once we've done our 5 rounds, and of course you can adjust that to fit your thumb, we are going to work 2 rounds of decrease. So in the next stitch, you're going to work a decrease. That's pull up the loop, yarn over, but go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You've got 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all stitches. Work 1 normal half double crochet into the next one. Decrease over the next 2, so that's yarning over, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop. You've got 5, yarn over, pull through all stitches. Again, work 1 normal one, and then work a decrease. We're going to repeat this around for 2 rounds. When we get to the end, we're going to cut off some yarn. I'm going to cut off about 5 or 6 inches. Maybe not quite that much. 1, 2, let's go 3 to 4 inches. Oh, OMG, look at that. That is how much yarn I have left on that ball of yarn. I actually made something else from that ball, so you will get more than 1 set of gloves. And focus, there we go, pull that out. Thread, oh actually, first of all, we want to turn it inside out, so poke that, if you can, poke it through the hole. Turn it inside out. And this is actually reversible, I reckon, because it gives you a different stitch texture on the inside. What we're going to do is we're going to gather the top. So we're just working in and out of the stitches. So that we can gather the top. And when you pull it tight, what I want you to try and do, if you can, put your fingers inside, or a finger inside, put your thumb on top, and when you pull it together, try and squash these bits down and hold it flat against your finger. Now I know you can't tell because my finger's on the other side, but what I'm doing is that, with my finger on the inside. And when we gather it, we want it to stay flat. Just found that helped a little bit better than when if you just pulled it together, because it gathers flat rather than gathering sort of like that and all sticking up. So make sure that's pulled tight. Just going to tie off that. So what we're going to do is go through a stitch and then go through the loop before you pull it snug. That will stop our gathered section coming undone. So just sew in your ends, and sew the ends in on the top here exactly the same way. So there we go, there is my mitten. And if you wanted to add elastic, I would add the elastic probably where the ribbing starts. I'm not going to add elastic to mine, but if you did want to, you would thread it, and you want the thin stuff. We call it hat elastic, or I think it's called like shearing elastic. You'd stitch it through, but on the inside of your glove, not on the outside. That is so cool. And also, if you wanted to make this in cotton, you could use it as one of those bath mitts, which I think would be a great idea, great Christmas present, or, you know, gift for any occasion really, gift for just because. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Please subscribe, as there will be plenty more videos to come. I do upload once a week. Share your creations on our Facebook page. We love to see what everyone's been up to, and also to get inspiration from colour combinations used. Check out my website. All the links below, and especially for the free written pattern, are in the description box below the video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy crochet.